So in the last sum, I introduced to you what the concept of uniformly distributed load is, right? So in this video, we are going to take it a step further. So see, in the last lecture, when I introduced UDL to you, I kept it a pretty simple question. I did not force you to calculate where the maximum bending moment is going to occur. Okay. So in this question, you will be seeing that point also. See, I am going step wise. I am trying to introduce the concept to you one at a time. I am not trying to force multiple concepts on you at a single time, right? So now let us see how we can solve this sum. Okay, everything will be clear to you. Don't worry. See, in this sum, it is quite unique because see what is happening in this sum. There is a force P also over here, right? And we don't know the value of P also. We have to calculate that also. So how can we calculate that? They have told us that calculate the value of P such that the reaction force at A is equal to reaction force at B. Okay, so that is the third equation that they have given us. So we have three equations and we can solve those three equations together. Right, see what I mean to say is, let us draw this diagram over here first. This will be our left page. So I will draw this diagram. Here there is P. Here there is reaction at B. Then here we have our uniformly distributed load. Right, here we have our uniformly distributed load, which is what? Which is 16 kilonewton per meter. And here we have reaction at A. Right, A, this is D, this is B, and this is C. Now what we have to do? We have to first draw the force diagram. Right, see, what we are going to do is, we will take this down. Right, this point also, this should be on the complete page, right? This should be these dotted lines should be on the complete page. So I will draw this also. Right, then now I can find out the value of RA, RB and P. So how can I find out? First of all, I have the Newton's laws. Summation Fx is equal to 0, but there are no forces in x direction. So next, summation Fy is equal to 0. So what are the forces in y direction? You can see RA is upward, so RA. Then minus 16 kilonewton in 4 meters, right? 16 kilonewton per meter, and it is acting for 4 meters. It will minus 16 into 4. It will be plus RB. It will be minus P, which will be equal to 0. So this will be RA plus RB minus P is equal to 64. This will be my equation number 1. Now, similar to this, what I can do? I can do summation MA is equal to 0. So in summation MA, it will be what? We can assume that this entire uniformly distributed load is acting like a point load at the center, right? So what will be, and it will be rotating in clockwise. So it will be minus 16 into 4 into 2. Then RB is acting upward, so it will be plus RB into total distance will be 4 plus 2. Sorry. So it will be 6. Then again minus P into 7. Right? And this will be equal to 0. So how can I put it? I can put it like 6RB minus 7P is equal to 128. This will be my equation number 2. And what will be my third equation? Third equation will be RA is equal to RB. Right? They have told us to find the value of P such that reaction at A is equal to reaction at P. So third equation will be RA is equal to RB. I can rewrite it as RA minus RB is equal to 0. That will be the third equation. So solving all these three equations simultaneously, what am I going to get? I will just put these values. 1 RA plus 1 by RB minus RP is equal to 64. Then 0 RA plus 6 RB minus 7P is equal to 128. Then 1 RA minus 1 RB is 0, P is equal to 0. So solving this together, we have RA is equal to 40 kilonewton. Then we have RB is equal to 40 kilonewton. and we are getting P is equal to 16 kilonewton. Okay, so these are the forces that we are getting. So we can put those values over here in our force diagram. Right here, after leaving 4 lines, we can draw our force diagram. So here it will be 40. This is what? 16 kilonewtons. Here again RB will be what? RB will be 40, and here it will be 60. Right? This part is done. Force diagram is done. What is the next thing we have to do? Next thing we have to draw is the shear force diagram. So, and this is 16 kilonewton per meter. Right? We have to draw the shear force diagram. So now for drawing the shear force diagram, I will just take this much material. Right, I'll just copy this much so that I can use it again, and I will just paste it over here. And we can do the shear force calculations. So see, the naming in this case is slightly different. They have named this as A, they have named this as B, and they have named, I think this point is D and this point is C, right? So we have to do shear force calculation twice for every point. So shear force to the left of A, which will be 0, right? To the left of A there is nothing. Shear force to the right of A will be what? 40 kilonewton. Shear force to the left of D will be what? Plus 40 minus 16 into 4, which will be minus 24 kilonewton. Then shear force to the right of D will be what? It will be the same, 40 minus 16 into 4, which will be what? Minus 24 kilonewton. See, in this case you will notice that, see, for B the value is not changing. It is minus 24 here also, minus 24 here also. Why is the value not changing? Because though there is no point force over here, right? There is no point force acting at point D. That is why the value is not changing. The value only changes when there is a force acting at a point at that point, right? So similarly, there will be shear force to the left of B, which will be again minus 24 kilonewton, and shear force to the right of B, which will be what? 40 minus 16 into 4 plus 40. So 80 minus 64 will be what? 80 minus 64 will be 16 kilonewton. Then there is shear force to the left of C, right? Which will be what? Again, if you do the calculation, it will come out to be 16 kilonewton. And shear force to the right of C, if you do all the calculations, it will be 0 kilonewton, right? So we have found out the shear force. Now we can find out the bending moment. So see, here we can write bending moment at A. What is bending moment at A? To the left of A, there is no force. So bending moment at A will be 0. What is bending moment at D? Bending moment at D is because of which type of forces? There is the bending moment because of this 40 kilonewton force, right? It is producing what? It is producing sagging motion, right? If my D is fixed, this is my rod, and A is acting upward, it is going to produce sagging motion, so it will be positive. So positive 40 into 4, and then I will have negative because the uniformly distributed load is going to produce hogging. So minus 16 into 4 into 2, right? It is 160 minus 128. It is going to be 160 minus 128, which is going to be 32 kilonewton meters. That is bending moment at D. Similarly, we can find out bending moment at B. How can we find out bending moment at B? It will be again the similar logic, right? So plus 40 into 6 minus 16 into 4. See, this much will be 2 meter plus 2 meter. So that will be 4 meter. So 16 into 4 into 4, which will be what? 240 minus 64 to the 120. This will be 88. 16 8 just 64 120. 8 just 64 into just 1 minute. I think I might have made a mistake. 16 into 4, sorry. 16 into 4 into 2, 128, and 60, right, 16 into 16, sorry, 256. Here it will be 256, sorry, yeah, 256. So this is going to be minus 16 kilonewton meter. And again, we will have to find out bending moment at C, and we know because it is the last point, so bending moment at C will be 0, because there is no force after this, no. So bending moment at C will be what? Bending moment at C will be 0. Now see, now first of all, let me draw the shear force diagram, then I will explain to you the bending moment logic. So I will take the red pen. At A, what is happening? It is going from 0 to 40, right? I will take one line as 10, so it will be 10, 20, 30, 40. So it is going from 0 to 40 at A. At D, what is happening? At D, it is going from minus 24 to minus 24, so it is staying at minus 24. So this is minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. So it is staying at minus 24. At B, what is happening? It is going from minus 24 to plus 16. So it is going from minus 24 to plus 16. This is what is happening over here. And finally at C, it is going from 16 to 0. It is going from 16 to 0. Right, so I will join this. I will join this because there are no forces in between, so it can be joined with a straight line. Here, what is going to happen? Here it will be joined with a slant line. Right, here it will be joined with a slant line. Why slant line? Because there is a uniformly distributed load in between. Right, now for bending moment diagram, I can use the similar logic. See, what is the value over here? 40. Here it is minus 16, right? Minus 24, sorry. Minus 24, minus 24. Here 16, 16, 0. Again, here we draw this bending moment. Here 0, here 0. Then what is the value at D? 32 and minus 16. So here we have 32. Here we have minus 60. Over here, no problem. We can connect it with a slant line because there are no forces in between. Now, here also we can connect it with a slant line because there is no forces in between. But here, what do we have to do? We have to do what? We have to join it with a curve. So the curve can be, we have to draw the curve. So the curve can be like this. The curve can be like this. The curve can be like this, right? In the end, it is going to be something like this. But just the fact is that we can find out the value where the bending moment is maximum, right? So see, where is the bending moment maximum? The bending moment is maximum where there is the shear force is equal to 0. Always remember one thing, bending moment is maximum where the shear force is 0. So here the shear force is 0. So here the bending moment will be maximum. But what will be the value of that bending moment? So to find out the value of that bending moment, what we can do, we can find out the location of this point, at how much distance this point is, right? How can we find this distance? It is very simple. See, we know the value over here 40. We know the value over here minus 24. So what is the total vertical distance? Total vertical distance is 64. What is the total horizontal distance? 4 meters. So using this slope logic, we can find out the equation of this line and we can find out this point. Okay. See, what I am saying is, see this point, what are the coordinates of this point? Let us say this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, right? So the coordinates of this point is what? X-axis is 0, y-axis is 40. So the first point is what? First point is 0, 40. What is the second point over here? X-axis is 4 meter, na? y-axis is how much? Minus 24, right? Can we find out this point? We know the y coordinate. Y coordinate is 0. We want to know the x coordinate. No? So we can say this is x comma 0, right? If we know the equation of the line, we can find out this point. So that is exactly what we are going to do. How can we find out the equation of this line? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1, where m is what? X2, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. What I am saying is like this. See, you must have learned this in something like 11th standard, right? What is the equation of line with 2 points? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. What is m? M is slope. What is the value of slope? Y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, right? So we can substitute the values. Y2 is what? Minus 24. X2 is what? Y1 is what? 40. So we can put over here minus 24 minus 40 divided by 4 minus 0. It is minus 64 divided by 4, which is going to be minus 16 kilonewton per meter. This is the slope of the line. Using this slope of the line, we can find out the equation of the line. Y minus y1. Choose any value. I will just go with, let us say 0, 40. So y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So what is the equation that I get? 16x plus y is equal to 40, right? So using this, what I can do, I know that at this point y is 0. At this point y is 0. So I can find out the value of x. Yes, easily I can find out the value of x. Just substitute y is equal to 0. So 16x plus 0 is equal to 40. So x will be what? 40 divided by 16, which will be what? 10 divided by 4, which will be what? 2.5. So x is what? X is equal to 2.5 meters. So can we find out the bending moment at this? We can find out the bending moment at this also. How can we find out the bending moment at this? See, we can find out over here bending moment at a distance of 2.5 meters. So if we are considering bending moment at 2.5 meters, right? We are considering bending moment at 2.5 meters. Over here, what all forces are acting to the left? There is 40 kilonewton acting vertically upwards, and only 2.5 meters of this uniformly distributed load is acting downwards. See, you have a big load, but we are considering only this much load now. We are not interested in this much load. So we are considering only this much load. So we will consider only this much load, that this load is not present at all. Okay. So we will consider load only till this point, right? So see how that will work. Here I will just write it below. I am writing it like 40 is producing. So plus 40 into 2.5 minus 16 into 2.5, and it will be acting at what? It will be acting at half the distance of 2.5 because it is uniformly distributed. So into 1.25. So what is going to be the value? 100 minus 16 into 2.5 into 1.25, which is coming out to be 50. So bending moment at a distance of 2.5 meters is what? It is 50 kilonewton meter, right? So maximum bending moment is how much? Maximum bending moment is 50 kilonewton meter. So how will the curve look? The curve will look like this. Okay, just a minute. The curve will look something like this, and this will be the maximum bending moment, which is 50. Here it is 32. Here it is what are the values? 32 at minus 16, and here it will be 0. This point is what? This point is point of contraflexion. In the next sum that we saw, see over here what did we do? In this sum what did we do? we found out the x coordinate of the point where the shear force was equal to 0, right? Similarly, in the next sum, what are we going to do? We are going to find the x coordinate of the point where the bending moment is equal to 0. You can do that in this sum also. It is pretty easy. It is a straight horizontal line. Use the same logic. Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Okay, it will work the same way. But you can find out. We will do it in the next sum. So see, this was something new that we saw over here. What is the new thing that we saw? The new thing that we saw was how to find out the maximum bending moment. Where is the maximum bending moment? The maximum bending moment is always at the point where the shear force is equal to 0. So here the shear force is equal to 0. So we get maximum bending moment. Okay. So that was it for this sum. Hopefully you have understood. If not, no problem. We will solve another sum. In that, this will become much more clearer to you. So thank you.